Hi, I'm Pam Schmidt, Chemical Minimalist. Have you started to set up for Christmas yet? I have. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about a fragrance that definitely seems like Christmas. And at the end, I'm going to share with you one memorable Christmas that was a challenging one. Cinnamon to me is one of the top fragrances that I associate with Christmas. And you can do it with cinnamon sticks, cinnamon powder. My favorite is to use an essential oil, cinnamon bark by doTERRA. Also one that is kind of a type of cinnamon is cassia oil. So I like the oils because there's a lot of things I can do with them. I'm able to spray it. I put it together in a little spray like this, so I can spray it around the house. I can diffuse it. I unplugged it, but diffuse it. So it just kind of has this fragrance around the house. Sometimes I'll put a little bit in one of these little battery operated candles, just right in there, so that when it gets warm, that fragrance emits through the house. I'll tell you, I'm not a big fan of candles burning in the house any time of year, and Christmas is included. One year we had candles all across our mantle, and at the end of the season, I looked at my ceiling and there were dark gray spots from the soot. And then I thought, I'm breathing that? I don't want to breathe that. So I have turned away from candles. I have fake candles so it still looks like it, but I use my oils instead. So I wanted to tell you some things that are beneficial with cinnamon oil because I really do think it's something that I like for the holidays. Cinnamon warms you up. It's a spicy fragrance, and it is one that we often have associations to old-time Christmas recipes, and so that is another good thing about it. I'll warn you that cinnamon is a warm oil, and so if you're thinking about applying it to the skin, you really need to think carefully and use a carrier oil like fractionated coconut oil. Cinnamon can be an immune booster. It also can stimulate your mind and your body. And it's a wonderful smell to add to any holiday blend of oils that you could make for winter. There's emotional support in cinnamon. It helps you in nurturing relationships. It also can bring sexual harmony. That'd be a nice thing to add to the Christmas season. And researchers have found that cinnamon also gives cognitive or brain support. Memory and learning has been shown to be improved. Whew, that's a bad sentence. According to researchers. And so those are things that can also help. And it's a positive fragrance to help boost learning. Be aware, cinnamon oil can be a skin irritant. So like I said, get yourself something like almond oil, sesame oil, fractionated coconut oil, and have more drops of the carrier oil than you add cinnamon. So like 3 to 1, something like that, before you apply it to your skin. You also need to know that cinnamon oil can be something that is an irritant to pets. If you're diffusing it, it can be harsh for them. You know how extra sensitive they are to fragrances. And so be aware of that in your home. I think that's it. Some other ways that you can use cinnamon oil, like I said, was diffuse it. You can put it in your hands and just have a little freshen up that way. You could apply it to a certain spot, like a collar on your clothing, if you don't want to have it on your body, or a scarf. You could apply it just to a few places on your tree, or any silk flowers that you have. Cotton balls tucked in little spots could work, just hide it so it doesn't look so ugly. And so those are ways you can use cinnamon. Now on to one of my challenging Christmases. It's easy to have a lot of positive Christmas memories and all of that, but I've had quite a few challenging Christmases, and those are not easy. So the first one I can think of right now was the year that was our 10th anniversary was coming within a week of Christmas. And we had a 3-year-old son and a 6-month-old daughter. And we were looking forward to it for several months, but as we got to November, my husband was getting pretty sick and fevers and not well and rashes, and his back was in pain and all of that, and it got worse and worse and worse. So by the time we got to Christmas, he was off work. He had lost probably 25 pounds. He wasn't fat to begin with, and he was getting weaker and weaker. So that Christmas, I remember we stayed home that year and didn't travel from Southern California to family in Northern California. But I remember we videoed our kids playing on the floor and having fun. But there was this sense that things were in a scary zone. And I kind of knew subconsciously at that point that my husband was dying. And as we got into January, February, he truly was dying. He was entered into the hospital. He was there for 2.5 weeks with no answers. And he was getting worse. And then eventually surgery, and they said maybe sarcoma, carcinoma, AIDS. I mean, it was like, ah! And eventually his specialist said, there are no answers here. I'm transferring you to a research hospital. And they discovered that he had tuberculosis disseminated throughout the body, not just the lungs. And so he was on some heavy duty treatment. All totaled, he was in the hospital for 5.5 weeks. And when he came home, he was still in rough shape. That was a hard Christmas. You know, it was those things that I was subconsciously ignoring how dangerous this was. And yet those little thoughts kept coming into my mind. What I learned in that time, it was a long learning curve, was that God has a plan for me. Even if I had lost my husband, he has a plan for me. And I came to trust him through all of it. But it was not learned within 5 minutes. So I would be interested in hearing if you've had some challenging Christmas memories. I also would like to encourage you, if you would like to find out more about the oils, you'd like to order some, or you'd like to check out what it's like to get a discount on those, contact me. I will leave a link connected with this video. And I hope you have a great day of building some great memories. See you later.